his feet.
Yeah, I benefited from the fact that Kerry Packer came into the cricket world. He changed the lot of the cricketer, really, in terms of finances, moving further down the line, and some of the things he brought into the game are still very prevalent in the game now. When we watch one-day cricket, T20 cricket, the coloured clothes, the lights, the white ball, he brought that to the game of cricket. So I definitely benefited a lot. There were some very good cricketers actually who made their debut and come into the Australian side. Rodney Hogg for one, Alan Border another one, Kim Hughes another one. It was a defining series for me. I didn't have a great tour in my first tour to Australia. I opened the batting to start with, didn't get a good start, ended up batting 4. We had 6 tests then, and they were 8-ball overs. I don't know if you remember that. 8-ball overs, that would be a nightmare now for someone who bowls no balls. I mean, it goes on forever. So that was a different experience. But I got 70 odd in the last game, which probably saved my bacon for the following year. But it was a defining tour for me because it was the tour which made me change my technique. And that's really the starting point of my success as an international cricketer from then on.
So what did you do?
Well, in 1978, video recorders just hit the market that winter. And I remember Brenda, my wife, her aunt was reasonably wealthy. She bought one of these big Philips video recorders, okay? Because as a cricketer, you never really watched yourself on TV. There was highlights programs, but unless you watched a little bit and you got a little bit of a clip. She recorded a lot of the highlights programs from the Test series down under, and I watched these, and my head was falling over, and I wasn't happy with my posture and my stance, so my head was not in the right position. Anyway, cut a long story short, I ended up with a stance which I stayed with for the rest of my career, more upright, eyes level, bat off the ground, a bit like Tony Greig did. So I didn't invent it. He was a tall man, started that. Clive Rice, another player who's a great South African player, he adopted that sort of stance as well. But that was a marker in my career.
Well, you went back to Australia the following winter because the Australian board and Packer had buried the hatchet, and England went back to sort of help give Australian cricket a bit of a boost. But very shrewdly, Mike Brearley said this is not for the Ashes.
Yeah, I think...
A 3-test series.
Yeah, I mean, that's for the politicians, that's for the administrators to decide. It was played like an Ashes series, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I was going to say it must have been very different from the previous year, because now all of the big guns were back and they were looking to prove they'd lost nothing.
Yeah, and they did. They won 3-0. Absolutely. I didn't play in the first test, and that hurt me a lot. Not that I thought I was guaranteed to play, but I expected to play in that first test, but didn't get selected. So. That was difficult for me, but one you have to sort of work out, and it's not whether you get knocked down that counts, it's how you get up and fight back. I played in the following 2 and did pretty well, so I was better equipped at that stage to play Test cricket against Australia.
You say you did better. You got 99, and I was actually looking it up. Peter Laker in the Daily Mirror said, Gooch ran himself out in pursuit of an impossible run. I mean, that must have been heartache, having to drag yourself off, because an Ashes 100 matters, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It was been my first Test 100 as well. So I remember it right here and now. Lenny Pascoe was bowling. Is quite a rock-hard wicket. It wasn't the bounciest wicket, and I was in pretty good form, obviously, when you're 99. I just defended the ball back down the wicket. And of course, as a batsman, you make that split-second decision whether you're going to go. And I just defended the ball, rolled straight back down the wicket quite quickly because I sort of middled it, although it was a defensive shot. And it gathered pace. And as I got 3-4 yards down the wicket, I could see Kim Hughes coming round from sort of mid-on, and I knew I was in trouble. And that was it.
Your fault?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I hit it, and I was running to the danger end. Yeah.
So what was it like dragging yourself off?
Yeah, not good, not good.